Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So to share a few things I heard about Kṛṣṇa from Amarendra Prabhu and others. First of all, I'd like to talk about the peacock. The peacock is an interesting animal. I heard from someone many years ago when I was a teenager, one of my older teachers. He said that the peacock is a symbol of the woman. He said, back then he said it was a secret, don't tell nobody, but this is the age when a lot of information is being shared. So he said that the peacock is the secret to the woman and that it represents vanity. Well, I've also heard other things about the peacock. I've heard that the peacocks loved Kṛṣṇa so much that they danced for him joyously, to the point where the king of all peacocks in the universe was dancing for Kṛṣṇa so joyously and happily that Kṛṣṇa agreed to take his feather and put it on his head. So you'll always see the peacock feather there with Kṛṣṇa. Peacock containing all of the colors of the human body forms, peacock feather. But what's interesting, and this also goes to show, the peacock is in another story that a lot of people may have heard. It's about the crow. There was a crow, and he came across a swan. And he said, wow, that swan is so white and beautiful, and I'm so black, and I'm not so beautiful like this swan. The swan must be the happiest bird in the world. I think I'm going to kill myself. But first, let me go talk to the swan. So he went to the swan. When he got to the swan and told him, listen, I'm going to kill myself because you must be the happiest bird in the universe. You're so beautiful. The swan said, yeah, I thought the same thing. My life was perfect and peaceful, But then one day I saw a parrot. And the parrot had like 3 colors. And I was like, wow, this thing is the most beautiful thing. I'm just a white swan. So, you know what? I'm going to kill myself too. I'm going to go with you and kill myself with you. And first, let's go ahead and speak to the parrot. So, the crow and the swan went to the parrot. Man, our lives were happy and content. Then we saw your beauty and we found out we're not so beautiful. And we want to kill ourselves, basically. And the parrot said, man, I thought I was the most beautiful bird in the world. And then one day I saw a peacock. And now I feel like killing myself. So these 3 birds who was on the verge of suicide actually went. And they saw the peacock in the zoo. And the people were admiring it, worshiping this peacock for its beauty. And the 3 birds just observed it. And after the zoo closed, they went to the peacock and basically said, we're going to kill ourselves. We're offing ourselves. We're not so beautiful like you. You're the most beautiful, and you must be the happiest bird in existence. And the peacock looked at them and said, yes, I am adorned. I am well loved, and people always want to see me for my beauty and for my multicolors. But guess what? I've carefully observed my situation, and because of my beauty, I'm trapped. People want to keep me in this cage all the time. I never have any freedom. And I've ascertained that I want to kill myself because out of all birds, the crow, nobody wants the crow. Nobody wants to hold on to the crow. Nobody cares about it. And it is the most free bird. And I've determined that that is the best bird to be. So in this material world, there's always going to be some imperfection. Nobody's going to be all perfect, or no situation is going to be all the way you expect it or want it to be. That's because it's the material world, a place of constant suffering. Dukhalayam asaswatam. We are connected to these senses, and these senses are connected to the objects that cause us pleasure and pain. This is just how it happens in the material world. Moving on. So the peacock gladly adorns Kṛṣṇa's head. And out of all birds in the animal kingdom, the peacock is most esteemed amongst the birds because they are wondering, just like a bamboo flute could sacrifice its life to turn into Kṛṣṇa's flute and become an eternal companion of the Lord. with eternal cognizance, bliss, and joy, and knowledge. A flute, a bamboo. Out of all bamboo in the world, the family that bamboo came from is the most esteemed and most blessed. And to this day, the bamboo is one of the most auspicious plants on the planet Earth because of the speed at which it grows and its flexibility and usability for the human species. So many things you can do with bamboo. When Kṛṣṇa used to walk through Vrindavan, the trees would bend down so that Kṛṣṇa would have to either take their fruit or touch them just to move out of the way. So these trees were conscious in Vrindavan. They just wanted to be touched by Kṛṣṇa. So can you imagine what would happen if Kṛṣṇa just glances at your life? Remember how this material nature works is that all of the matter, all of the stuff you see around you is Kṛṣṇa's external, inferior nature. However, it seems to be alive and it seems to change because the presence of the spirit soul inside those various forms of body, whether it's a tree body, an animal body, insect, human body, everything that's animated. Even when you see things like the wind has a predominating officer. The fire has a predominating officer. So we interpret these beings to be gods, but they're actually administrators in God's kingdom. They have to follow, just like the sun never takes a vacation. If he did, or like half of the universe would be dead. This is just how it works. There's a hierarchy. But just to show that the trees in Vrindavan used to cry, they said, I'm right here and I can't touch Kṛṣṇa all the time. I wish I was a cow. Why couldn't I have been born as a cow so that I could follow Gopala around? So there's so many levels to the divine ecstasy when you're dealing with Kṛṣṇa consciousness. There's many levels to this, and it's a beautiful science. So I wanted to share that. Kṛṣṇa's connection to the peacock, and also on the material plane, the peacock's connection to vanity, and the fact that we will never be satisfied in the material world because we are living in temporary, destructible bodies. There's no way. Oh, another thing I'd like to share, and I probably shared it in another video before. I've been watching a show called Devs, right? D-E-V-S. And I would like to point out a couple of things. First of all, in Devs, there's a building in which a quantum computer is contained. That building, if you look at it from the front, it actually resembles the ancient temple of Amun. And this is one thing about ancient civilizations and monuments that makes me sad. I'm not in a rush to go to Kemet, because if I go to Kemet, I know that I'm looking at skeletons of ancient machines of which did things that we don't even fully comprehend to this day. We have ideas, theories, and speculations, but when you go to the pyramids and you go to those ancient temples, remember, before they had gems, they had precious metals. They had functions. It wasn't just for vanity. Nobody builds a pyramid just for vanity. There's also a practical aspect to it. There's also a spiritual aspect to it. Just like when you relate the peacock to vanity, yeah, there's a practical aspect, there's a material aspect, there's a spiritual aspect to even the science of the peacock. Everything can be transmuted in 3 levels. That's how you get life in this material world. It always takes 3 elements: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, to manifest these souls. Kṛṣṇa just glances towards the material nature and she becomes impregnated with innumerable living entities. This is how it was, this is how it is, and this is how it will be. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.